time to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.
Well, hello, we are back at Talk Labor, and you're here with Jerry Williams. And before we do anything, I again want to thank you for pushing our show right up to the top. We want to stay up there. This is a great network. Our guy, WLLIAMS, again, I say he's one of the best entrepreneurs in the city of Chicago, and he's been doing it for quite some time. But before we go on, every week I tell you the same thing. This is a megaphone for you. We ask you to come out. If you got problems, talk about it. If you don't talk about it, nothing's going to happen. Correct. You got to talk about it. One of the things we say to men and women, when you come to Talk Labor, we allow you to speak up, because if there are things that are detrimental to you, if you don't talk about it, if you don't speak up about it, it can and will become a quiet injustice. And it can harm you, your family, and all your friends around you. So we want you to step up. We want you to speak up. Don't be afraid. If you don't want to say it, come on this show and Jerry will say it, okay? But we want you to be able to talk about it. We got a great lineup today. We're going to talk about some of the things that we got a super lineup. Now, we were supposed to have a debate today. Here it is again. These guys bagged out again. You know, it make you feel like Charlie Brown and Lucy with that football. You know, we're going to be there, and then they lie and don't show up. I'm sorry. I won't say that they just didn't show up. You lied. But the show always goes on. We try to do this for you and your members so that they can know what's going on, get you an opportunity to express what you're doing. But I'm going to talk about some strange things that happen with this election that's coming up with this local union. If the guys show up, we're going to have the debate. Now, we got one person here, and that's Mr. Tom Sams. He's ready. He's been here. He was here last week ready to debate. These guys won't show up. But now, this week, we got some great things happening. We're going to talk to an attorney that I think is very bright and running for office. On the segment, as soon as I get through with my monologue, we're going to take a break and come back to talk to attorney. And I think you're going to really enjoy this conversation that you're going to have with her. I think she's one of the brightest people that's out there running, along with another young man that we know, Mr. David Moore, that's running out there. But some of the things we're going to talk about today is, I want to start off with my monologue. You all remember the policeman in Park Forest that shot the old guy with the bean bags, and they told him they wanted him to go to trial and all that. And I was saying, now this was a black cop, and I was saying, well, why would you do that to him? That's him right there, Mr. Taylor. Why would you do that to him? And you didn't take this guy in Ferguson, you didn't take these guys in New York, but you take this black cop, and you said, well, you got to go to trial. Poor man went through all that. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that family had every right to say, I think he should be going to trial to find out, because if it had been my family, I've done the same thing. But he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't shoot him with an automatic. He shot him with bean bags because he was trying to subdue the guy. But he happened to be an old guy, I think about 95, and he passed away. But he was wielding a big knife, you know. He was wielding a big knife, so his commanders told him what to do, and he did it. I had a big fight with John Cass from the Chicago Tribune. He and I went back and forth on this. You know, he called me a bunch of names, and I called him a bunch of names, and, you know, but we still love each other. But he said that he wanted to see him he was going to come out there and make sure he go to trial. And I said, well, why didn't you go and make sure that these guys in Ferguson? Why didn't you do it in New York, John? I called him what I thought he was. And then he called me what he thought I was. Let me give you an example. He told me, he sent me back, he said, Jerry, what are you, a politician or a pharmaceutical supplier. Now, you know what that means. Black people can only be politicians or drug dealers, right? So, of course, I sent him some nice little stuff back. We won't talk about it. But he won't talk to me no more. But anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to be doing an election for the city of Chicago for mayor. And you got 3 or 4 people out there running. Good friend of mine is Jesus Garcia. You all know that because I've talked to you before about that. He's a good friend of mine. And you all got to make up your mind on who you want to be mayor of Chicago. And don't be afraid to go vote for who you feel is the best person. You got Bob Fioretti out there, a good friend of mine too. But Jesus and I go way back to the Harold Washington days when we had to fight and Harold had to get people like him in and Gutierrez in. Still got a lot of respect for Jesus, but Gutierrez, that's another story. But when you go, I think it's in February, 24th of February, you're going to be voting for mayor. Don't be afraid to cast your vote for who you think is the best person. Please don't let this money determine who you vote for. Vote for who you think is the best candidate, okay? Best for you and your family. I say that to you all the time. We can beat money anytime, but if you don't do what you got to do, this city will turn into something that you won't recognize. Turn into something you won't recognize. You look at what happened with the governor's race just recently. This guy was just courting everybody. He bought a couple of jackleg preachers, and yes, I call them jackleg, because that's what they are. You go and sell out your flock for a couple of 30 pieces of silver, Reverend, and you get your money, but what about your people? This guy's in there talking, he made a speech yesterday, talking about how he's going to get rid of unions, how he's going to make it a right-to-work state, and how the public unions make more money than the private unions. Now, this is a way to try to divide union people. Public unions make more than the private, so they shouldn't be making that. And he said that public unions shouldn't be allowed to negotiate for wages. The hell does he think he is? But anyway, I told you he was going to do that when he was running. He was just as sweet and nice, but now he's showing his true colors. He says he's going to fix the prisons. He's going to make it so when prisoners go in, they're going to have books and they're going to get education so that when they come out, they can be a part of society. And in the same breath, he said, we're going to hire a lot more prison guards. Now, think about that. If you are making these people whole and making them, why do you need a lot more prison guards? Okay, you all figure that out. You all figure that out. Now, this is just a monologue because I got to get to this show and I don't want to take a whole lot of time today. But I got a great guest, like I said, and running for alderman, and I got some great guests running for office with the local union. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Valentine's Day at Stager, Illinois. It's going to be a great, great show. I think the name of the place is the Signature Lounge. Oh, there it is. Valentine's Day, Signature Lounge. And the great young artist, T.L. Williams, is going to be performing, along with Rico Matry, saxophonist. It's going to be awesome. And Ramonski Love from the radio station is going to be there. He's hosting. He's going to be the DJ and he's hosting. It's going to be fantastic. I want you guys to come out and celebrate and bring your loved one, bring your lady with you or your guy, And we're going to have a great time. But I'm just so anxious to get to the show tonight till I'm going to say this. We're going to go to a commercial, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to some very interesting people. We'll be right back, right after this commercial.
Smoke is rising from the hill. People burying their dead. I asked somebody what the time is. Time doesn't matter to them yet. People talking without speaking, trying to take what they can get. I asked you, you remember Prospect, how could I forget?
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our house watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your Pet Shop.
Okay, we're back, and that young man that you saw at the end of this, T.L. Williams and his band, Storm Chaser Orchestra, T.L. Williams will be at that place, the Signature Lounge is there, on Valentine's Day, the 14th. Now I want to get to my guest. I was telling you earlier that we have a brilliant young lady. She's an attorney, and she's running for alderman. You know, you all know I always talk about this. If people are not doing the job, step out there and do something about it. We don't care if you're young, we don't care if you're old, but this happens to be a very intelligent young lady, and I'd like for you to meet her. Her name is Tiffany Brooks. How you doing, Tiffany?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me tonight, Jerry.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Listen, we are talking about that. Now, I'm so happy to have you on here because people that watch this show a lot would tell you that I'm very stringent on people that are aldermen because you represent the people in your ward and in your district. But it seems like these people are not, no, it don't seem like they're not getting represented like they should. And I've heard a lot about you, and I think your ideas are great, and to ask you to come on this show, and you're here today. First of all, your ward, now what do you cover? You're in the 5th Ward, am I right?
I am in the 5th Ward.
Okay.
I am in the 5th Ward. Well, in 2012, there was a remap of the city of Chicago. There are 50 wards, so there are 50 aldermen. And the 5th Ward specifically is on the southeast side of Chicago. It encompasses mainly Hyde Park to about 51st Street on the south end. And when I say the south end, the south side of 51st Street. And then it goes and stretches to about 73rd Street on the south end of the ward, but the north side of 73rd Street. Then it stretches to the lakefront. So when you get to 71st Street at Yates, we cut off. We only go to the west side of 71st and Yates, and then we're all the way back to about Cottage Grove. That's our west boundary. So we have mainly South Shore, Hyde Park, a small pocket of Woodlawn, and a small pocket of Greater Grand Crossing. So near Gary Comer High School, near 71st and South Chicago where the police station is, that's part of the 5th Ward as well.
Oh, well,
Yes.
Let me ask this question then. What inspired you to step into this race, for alderman in that ward? I really would like to know.
Well, I was born and raised in the 5th Ward.
Okay.
My family migrated from Woodlawn to South Shore. They've lived there for almost 50 years. They were the 3rd black family on the block. I come from a working class family, a volunteer family, a community-based family. My grandmother was a member of TWO, which is the Woodlawn organization, and it has really changed the area, the neighborhood. It has devolved, not evolved, and it has gone down. The main artery, business artery, was 71st and Jeffrey, and that corridor looks desolate. It's empty. There are vacant lots everywhere, abandoned buildings everywhere. There used to be thriving, flourishing businesses, black businesses. There may be 1, 2, 3 black business owners there now, and they're struggling to hold on. I've been told the alderman there has them, fearful. So it's a task just to own a business there. Now, in contrast, on the north end of the ward, which is Hyde Park, it's thriving, it's flourishing, but they have the University of Chicago there to support them. Right. So it's a totally different walk of life, a culture, a different community when you go over there. So I want to have an equal distribution of assets and resources in the ward for both south and north end. I'm not against Hyde Park. I traveled there and went there and hung out there as a child, and as a teenager I actually attended and graduated from Hyde Park Career Academy. So I'm well aware and well versed in that culture as well, but I think all of the people in the 5th Ward should have equal representation. And I think all of the assets, the TIF money, everything, should be equally distributed, and we need to use those monies to build up Stony Island once again, 71st Street, the South End, Greater Grand Crossing, and Woodlawn. We don't need to just focus on one area, one pocket. You don't need to cater to one set of people. You might say, oh, well, these are the people that vote. Well, if you actually met the community and let them talk to you and voice their needs and then responded with results, then maybe everyone will come out and vote. But if they feel ignored, if they feel like they don't matter, if they feel like they don't have the money to give you to get things done, then they won't.
They give up.
They give up hope.
They do. They
so we need to restore the hope and get some results and come out and make the community what it was again. So revitalization, reunification, and representation, that's what I stand for.
And yeah, that's great. Yeah, and can you tell me, in your estimate, why do people feel that way? I mean, why do people feel that one side should be doing or get, made more catering than the other? I mean, it's like everybody pay taxes and everybody should be represented. You're not asking for handouts for anybody, but you are asking for fair representation. See, some people, when they go in and maybe they had good intentions, but some people are appointed to their office, so they're just there. This is one of the reasons I'm really happy that you're running. Well, as you understand, you're out there talking to the people.
I am.
And you're not, just saying that, well, somebody got my back because I'm appointed. You're actually talking to the people, and people letting you know not only the part of your award that you were talking about, but even the part where people are, let's just put it like it is, got more money. They would, I think, benefit from somebody that really cares about the entire award.
Yes, absolutely. So in the North End, where there are more resources and more assets, they have a bigger support group, and that's the University of Chicago. The North End is also intermingled with the Fourth Ward and some other political forces there. So they have more things going on there. But I think that they would like a voice as well to have a say in how the resources are distributed. They may not want to be overdeveloped to have so many stores, or they may want a certain type of store there, certain type of businesses, maybe community-oriented, family-oriented, as opposed to just putting something smack dab in the middle of the ward to say, well, this is going to generate revenue. Well, it needs to generate more than revenue. I keep saying over and over again, communities are people. They're not just things. They're not just buildings, businesses, places. They are built on people. These people get out every day and they spend their money, hard-earned labor, tax dollars, as you said, and these are the people that need to be serviced where they live.
One of the pet peeves of mine is that we've been fighting this for quite some time. And we got one alderman that stepped up and started doing something. My research engineer and I called him and cornered him, and he's actually doing something about this red light camera situation. This is where, they came in and last year when they were talking about, we're going to do this, we're going to save kids' lives, and we're going to make sure that people don't have problems, running over kids with, at the schools and at the parks. You didn't have a lot of that in the first place. But on top of that, then they come back and say, well, yeah, because we're going to make $60 to $70 million a year. You know who's going to pay that? And that's those people that can't afford it.
Yes.
And what do you think about that? What's your position on that?
Well, on its face, the red light cameras, the intent was to increase and heighten public safety, especially around the schools where traffic flow may have been a bit faster than others. It may be on a main corridor. But under the surface and the actual manifestation of it is that it brings revenue in for the city. It funds something that the city has an intended purpose for. So I believe that if enough people come together and their aldermen would step up to say, hey, my people are already suffering enough and they are doing their best just to make a living on this minimum wage that hasn't been increased yet. How can they afford to pay $100 every time they run a red light, or if they are 21 miles per hour instead of 20 miles per hour, that type of thing, because that's when they flash. You could be one notch over the amount. So it needs to be revamped. Right. If it's truly to save the lives of the children, it needs to be revamped and rethought. I'm sure as an attorney that it may be violating some of your constitutional rights, but that's something that we need to look into and come together.
Thank you for saying that, because thank you for saying that, because I do believe that. I do believe that. Now, one of the candidates running for mayor, it was I think it was Bob Fioretti. It could have been Garcia, but I know it wasn't Rahm Emanuel. They had said that one of the ways you can raise revenue, and I kind of agree with him unless there's something I don't know anything about. I don't know about this situation. One of the things that you can do is people that work outside the city, work inside the city and live outside the city, should have to pay some type of tax because they're taking that money from the city going to the suburb. Now, I live in the suburb, and I'm like, that's not a bad idea. I mean, if you're coming in making that money, that's it. Some other cities do that. So what do you think? Have you thought anything about that? Has that come across?
Well, as with the red light cameras, we have to look at the face of it, if it's a good intent. I mean, anything that's not overly burdensome on the economy and on the people, then I would support. But it has to be thought through. So we would need to do a survey and an analysis of approximately how many people actually work in the city but live in the suburbs. And then how much would we tax them? You know, it can't be something more than 20% of their income because that would be outrageous.
Yeah.
But you need to review it and take some serious consideration into it.
How about 2%?
2% is not bad.
You know,
2% is not bad.
I mean, you raise a lot of funds that way. And you know what, I think that a lot of people that do work in the city and live in the suburb probably wouldn't object to that too much. But that's something that you would take a look at if you were in there.
Yes,
Alderman.
always needs an analysis.
Yeah, because
yes.
I couldn't ask you to give me a yes or no on that because you haven't seen, But there's just a proposal that was thrown out there by one of the guys, and I thought it was a real good proposal.
We can offset some of the red light camera tax.
Right.
You know, it may be reduced or, whatever, however it's going to be revamped, if in fact it gets revamped. But you could just offset it with something else like that. We have a lot of creative ways to be able to raise revenue for the city.
I guess I'm so stuck on that red light camera because I saw this kid, he got hit 3 times in 1 month.
Yes.
That was $300.
Yes.
Yeah, they pay. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, one other thing that I'm concerned about, and that is the safety of our kids, these drive-by shootings and things like that. And I've always professed that, you want to have more policemen, but I believe if you make it a little more diverse, if you make it a little more where you got people that live in the neighborhood seen as policemen,
Yes.
you'd make it a lot better, because when we, and this is, people joke about it a lot, that, when cop pull up behind us, we like, oh, Lord, you get afraid.
Right.
And you do, because you know what could possibly happen. But if a guy pull up that live in the neighborhood with you, you feel more at ease. And if things happen like drive-by shootings and stuff, people are going to talk to him
Yes.
or her, so do you think that make any sense?
Absolutely.
To do that?
That actually, I'm so glad you brought that up because public safety is one of the main pillars of my platform. And I keep saying this once again, if people do not feel safe in their persons and in their homes, then how can we expect them to live in a ward that they can't walk outside or let their children go play? How can we expect businesses to come in that ward? They don't feel safe at all. So public safety is huge.
Yeah.
We have to incorporate the parents, the families, the community representatives, the elders, everyone in the community. We have to hold everyone accountable. We lack a lot of times in politics, transparency, as well as accountability. And I preach that from, the highest mountaintop. We cannot continue to move forward if we will not hold each other accountable. And I don't mean point fingers. I mean seriously hold each other accountable. I've proposed a plan that includes community representatives. We need everyone, not just a neighborhood watch. We need a neighborhood watch 2.0. We need something on the next level where people are coming out. They're not afraid to come out and say, what are you doing?
Right.
And it's not just one person. It's not just the nosy old person next door. It is everyone coming out. It is the children. It is the families. It is the dads, the moms. It's everyone saying, this is our community, and we're going to take charge here. And then it's also CPD reacting, but cooperating with the community residents. We can't just have them respond. We have to have them cooperate. They have to be able to mutually respect us, and we should mutually respect them as well.
That's wonderful. You know what? I told you all she was bright, and I told you she was smart too. So this is what you got, and this is the opportunity you got to come in and. Again, I tell people, please don't vote for your buddy, your friends, or because people spend a lot of money. Talk to people like Tiffany. Talk to people like that's running for office. And if they make sense to you, vote for them. I know she makes a lot of sense to me. Tiffany, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, wanted to work with you, foot soldiers or whatever, what would they do? How would they get in touch with you?
Well, they can visit my website. It's www.brooks4fifthward.org. And you can also come by the campaign office. We're at 6456 South Stony Island Avenue. And we have a community meeting every Tuesday at 6 p.m. You can also contact Jamal Green. Mr. Green is our field operations manager. We would love to have you come out and volunteer. And you can reach him at 312-927-6190.
Now, you all heard that. And if you didn't get it, you could always flip back and go back to the archives on this show and pull it up again, the interview with her, and you can get that information. But I'm going to ask you to do it one more time before you leave, just in case somebody was a little slow getting to the pen.
That's okay.
Can you give it to us just one more time?
Sure. You can go, I forgot to mention, you can go to the brooksforthefifthward.org website. That's BROOKS FOR 5, the number 5, THWARD.org. And you can also like our Facebook page. That's brooksforthefifthward.org. You can also come to the campaign office. We're at 6456 South Stony Island.
Oh, great.
Yes, we're right on the edge of the 20th Ward there in the 5th Ward. So that's 6456 South Stony Island. But the fastest way to reach out is to call Mr. Green. That's Green. He's at 312-927-6190. 312-927-7190. Did I get it right this time? I'm sorry, Jerry. I think I got it right. 312-927-7190. I think I said that wrong the first time. Okay.
Okay. What do you all think of Tiffany? Do you think she'll make a good one? I think she will. Tiffany, I really appreciate you coming on.
Okay.
Anything we can do?
I thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, if you know anyone that lives in the 5th Ward, have them to punch 53. That's 53. My punch. Yeah, that's my punch number.
53.
Yeah.
53. All right, we're going to take a commercial. We'll be right back. And we're going to have some real, I don't know if these guys made it down for the debate. I know Mr. Sams is here, but anyway, we're going to have some real lively stuff going on in a few minutes.
Thank you
again.
Thank you.
All righty.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
What time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't come closer. I have rabies. Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just
Please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
That's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Well, we're back. And wasn't she refreshing, Tiffany Brooks? She was very refreshing. You know, to see a person like that, intelligent, young, and, you know, not caught up in this whirlwind of we're just doing it like we normally do. It is a great feeling to see that type of thing. Now, we're going to get right to the elections at ATU Local 241. I saw some stuff that I did not believe. People told me this, but I just did not believe it until I saw it. People that were supposed to be on this show, they supposed to be here last week. They bagged out. It was going to be impartial. They had their own moderators. And they were supposed to be here this week, and they bagged out. So they didn't come last week, so I decided to go out and see what they do and talk to them. I went out to Chicago Avenue at the bus garage, and I caught this guy out there that's running for president. Mr. Hill, this is the biggest liar I've ever seen in my life. I'm just going to tell you like it is. He's the biggest liar I've ever seen in my life. This man sit up and lied right in front of me, to me, about me. And I'm like, wait, Junior, hold up. I'm not running for office. Why are you lying? But you know what it is? I think that he don't have any substance to his arguments and his debate. So he tries to distract people by telling lies about, you know, somebody. I think he said my mama lived on the moon or something. You know, I don't know what he was saying. I know he had a piece of paper in his hand. He said, well, you signed this agreement. I said, well, you know, let me see it. No, you can't touch it. Wait, why are you saying I signed an agreement? You signed it, and I said, well, let me see it. And one of the people at the garage said, well, if you say Mr. Williams signed it, let Mr. Williams see it. When I looked at it, there was no signature on it. He said, but you stamped it. I said, you can't stamp a document. It's not legal. But he said, yes, you can. I said, is that the way you do your documents? You stamp them? He said, I don't sign documents. And then somebody in the crowd said, well, you signed this contract. And I mean, I just watched him lie, and then I watched him, you know, I went over to another event yesterday when he was out with the seniors. I was over there talking to him about some of the things that's going on with them in their case, and the candidates was over there. He got up, and people got up and spoke. Mr. Sams and Mr. Bowers, all of them got up and spoke. And this guy got up and spoke, and they started asking him questions, and he couldn't answer. And he turned around, somebody called me today, said that he had put on Facebook that they wouldn't let him talk. Oh, geez. He's saying that, you know, that sympathy vote and all those distractions, folks, listen, vote for people that's going to take care of your needs, your wants and needs. I asked them to come in and talk to you. They won't do that. They want to talk about somebody's house. There's one young lady, and I wanted to say this today. Her name was Sally something or other. She put it on the Facebook. She don't realize she set herself up for a lawsuit. She put on the Facebook that Toy Bowers was a member of Local 308. And Tommy Sams used to be a member of 308. Both are lies. Toy Bowers has been a member of Local 241 since 2011. The former president that just lost at 308 got on Facebook and told people that. She knew. And Tom Sams has never been a member of 308. But what they're doing, they're saying it's us against them. And we got to fight. They're acting like little kids. When Bruce Rauner is talking about killing you in your unions, they're running around talking about our gang is better than your gang. You got to stop that. Bruce Rauner says he wants to get rid of unions. He just said it in his speech yesterday. He said that public unions should not be allowed to negotiate for wages. Who are the most people that in public unions? You are. And he's trying to pit the public unions against the private unions. Y'all got to understand this. In his speech, he also said that he wants this state to be a right-to-work state. He said people shouldn't have to pay no union dues. They could take that $800 a year and buy something for their family. But what he doesn't realize, he realizes, but he thinks you don't, that $800 will get you $9,000 a year because of negotiations. When you get the last negotiations I did, it was a 3.2 increase, which meant $9,000 a year more for you. And this man is trying to destroy you, so don't let that happen. You got people out there that are serious about what's going on. All this old helter-skelter, he was with this guy, he wasn't with that guy. Let me do this. Let me introduce my guest. Because I just, you know, I saw that yesterday and I'm like, that's some stuff I couldn't believe. But I got a guest on today, and it was supposed to be a debate. I have 2, 3, or 4 people here ready to debate, but nobody showed up. These other guys didn't show up. And I didn't expect they were going to show up anyway. But right now, let me introduce to you Ms. Toy Bowers. She's running for Treasurer, Financial Secretary, Recording Secretary. Did I say it right? Close.
Close.
And I have Mr. Tom Sams running for President Business Agent for ATU Local 241. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'm ranting on, but I just have to tell the truth. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to bite my tongue. And anything I say is on television. If I lied, you could take me and sue me to death. You know, just sue Jerry and get all of his 1929 Fords. All them old clothes I got, you can get it all. But no, I don't fear that because I always tell the truth. So what's happening? How you guys are doing out there? The members, are they getting the message that it's serious? This is not a game. This is not, something you play with. Tom, I guess I'll start with you.
Well, Jerry, I mean, I figure I can tell you almost everything is happening out there. Okay. I think we are getting through to the members. We've been focused on the issues. I mean, these guys are focused on everything from, you name it. I mean, it started out, I was sending threats to him and threatening his family, and then it ended up that I've got 4 foreclosures and no driver's license and
308. You work at 308 too?
And I've been fired from 308. And, none of which are issues with Local 241.
Right.
We're sticking to the issues. Mm-hmm. And the issues are the local is suffering. The membership is suffering right now because of these games and because of these individuals being the liars that they are. I just want to take a minute to talk about this document that was floating around that they were saying that these guys owed a huge amount of money. And on the document, they were so upset, they said that I put the document out on the properties. And I did. It fell in my hands like it fell in everybody else's hands. But the problem is, one of the individuals, Mr. Woodrow Elam, said he wrote a letter to the international president, and the president said that the documents are not authentic, that they lied on him. Well, I spoke with International President Larry Hanley today, and not only did he address the issue of this letter that he sent, the letter that he sent to Mr. Elam is authentic, but so are the documents. He addressed what Mr. Elam said that he circled certain things on here, and the international president agreed that certain parts of the documents were altered, but they're authentic documents from an investigation, internal investigation that's ongoing.
Let me ask you this question. Did he owe money to the local?
Yes, he did.
And is he paying it back or was he paying it back?
Yes, he is.
Okay, Mr. Elam, that's what I mean. You lied. And I'm saying it on the show because I saw it myself. You lied. You're lying to your members.
Right.
You're dancing and lying to your members.
Exactly.
Okay? Toy, you're out there, and you've been a financial secretary. And I know you were a fantastic financial secretary because you never had any problem with the international coming in, trusteeing you, or any problem, anybody questioning anything, because I know that when you were a financial secretary, nobody got paid unless they could justify what they were doing out there.
Absolutely.
And that's what's supposed to happen, am I right?
Absolutely.
Now, the guy that you're running against, did he have to pay the money back?
Yes, he did, and he actually admitted to
He
our
certainly did.
retirees, and I must commend him on his behavior, that I do owe money and I am paying it back.
He did say
Unlike
that. He did say that.
the rest of his crew.
Right.
They denied it, but yes, he did. And I applaud him for that.
Now, let me ask a question too now. You all out there on the property, you know what's going on with the CTA and how they are firing people, and you got a whole host of people that's discharged right now. What are they doing about it? I mean, what have they done about this? And
not only are they campaigning on our treasury, because they're supposed to be working between 8 and 4:30 or 9 and 5:30, whatever the hours are.
Yeah.
And I also addressed that issue too, because these guys have no vacation time. They're not on vacation, and they shouldn't be campaigning during those hours. But if you're out there on the property as we are, they're out there. Mm-hmm. And they're campaigning and they're hard, but they're not dealing with any issues. You know,
no issues.
We're talking about the 900 people that were terminated. We're talking about the accelerated discipline. We're talking about, in general office, how the jobs are just disappearing and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
The union officials are not even dealing with it. And they want to stick on the issue of, you know, whose mother's doing what over where.
Right.
We're talking about what's seriously affecting the members.
Right.
That's what we're on.
I'm glad you guys are sticking with the facts, because one of the things about it, if you get to most of the people out there, they're mostly intelligent.
Yes,
and they know how to sort out that garbage. You got some that's my buddy, I'm hanging out with him, and you go and show where he's been charged with as an axe murderer. Well, that's okay. The people put his head in front of the axe. That's what happened. This is what they do, you know. So you got to make sure that you go and do just what you talked about, Tom.
Right.
And Toy, and I'm very proud of you guys for stepping up and doing that. One thing I always said, and that is that right now, all people inside the union got to hug and grab and hold on to each other. They're trying to kill you.
Yes.
You know, I told people this, Tom, and you did too, 6 years ago. They're trying to take what you got. And what did they do? They took it.
They took it.
Of course, we went and got it back.
Right.
Half of it, we're getting the other half back.
Right.
But you ain't gonna be that lucky with these guys now.
No.
You know, because Bruce Reynolds said that you should have a 401k. That's a damn gamble.
Exactly.
As of your retirement. You don't do that.
That's right.
You don't do that.
Rolling the dice. You know, it's amazing how, like I said, Jerry, these guys aren't fighting for anything.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
I mean, we're just watching everything just fade away.
Well, let me ask this question, and I'm not going to hold you guys too long because I know you're busy. But now you got guys, especially three top officers, that's in office. They dipped their hands into the cookie jar of the members' money.
Yes.
Okay. And got caught, and the international spanked them and told you pay some of that money back. Didn't pay it all.
Right.
And now they want to go and get it, take control of all of it.
Exactly.
Members, y'all think. That's all I got to say. Anything you all want to say to wrap it up, because I got a couple of other guests.
Well, Jerry, what I will say is this. These guys have been creating the diversion in reference to our members for a long time. They're allowed to do it because they refuse to educate our members. And that's one thing that's going to be on our agenda, education to our membership. Because the things and the rumors that our membership hear, if they were educated, they wouldn't entertain it in the first place.
You're right.
And one thing about our team that is in the runoff against these guys, we take the high road because our credentials speak for themselves.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Right now.
Give me that. Tori Bowers and Tom Sams, I really want to thank you guys for coming on. I know you're busy and you got to be out there, but hope to see you and hope you're very successful because you're very intelligent people. Thank you very much. We're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back with two of my other guests.
Check out Chicago Zone. WLLIAMS. Check him out.
There she was, a stone cutie. And I just heard she broke up with her boyfriend Rudy. And she caught me by surprise when I looked into her eyes. I was straight up mesmerized. For sure, she made me blow. Made me blow. She made me blow. Time to the morning show. Yeah. Let me blow.
again, Gus Redmond, bring about some smoking talent. He tells me TL is doing some big things out there, so keep it going, TL. Thanks for stopping by and gracing us with that mad skill of yours. Yeah, on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Oh, oh, oh.
Of a journey for them.
You know, the other thing is what we will do when we go back is we've been keeping track of all of our students who have received scholarships. So we're going to take that information back. We will both coordinate and work with the school counselor in those buildings so that those counselors can reach out to the parents and the students, meet with them, and help them through the process.
Lely High School is in the house. Again, 4 years, $70,000 from the University of Northern Iowa. Now go get some more money. That's what we're talking about. Let's show some love.
Many of the students walk away with on-the-spot offers of scholarship money and admission from multiple schools.
There you go, ma'am. Congratulations.
It's been so much fun seeing kids accepted in college on the spot. You know, now perhaps they're not going to end up at that college, but what a boost to their ego and their work and their self-confidence that now they can be accepted to college. And it's just changed the whole way that they've looked at themselves and they look at their futures.
And I've been a part of Infinite Scholars for over 8 years. And even last year here in Lee County, I can tell you how many parents I saw crying when their daughter or son.
Live now. Well, we're back, and I have another guest on, and young lady I think very bright young lady, come from a labor family. She's running for office at ATU Local 241, came in like gangbusters and in the runoff, and everybody was shocked that she's there. But she's very intelligent. People know who she is, and they know she's one of them, and they know that she's going to do what she has to do to make sure that that union runs and functions like it should. And her name is Valerie Matthews Wilson. Valerie, how you doing?
I'm great.
Oh, great. Great to see you.
Good.
Man, she got that union handshake too, boy. You can't come in a week, But Valerie, you running for first vice president at ATU Local 241. And how long have you been with the company, Val?
I've been with the company for 20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you worked as what when you?
I started as a bus operator January 5th, 1995.
Okay.
Then I went on to be a clerk, also a supervisor, trained as a controller, and now I'm presently a clerk.
Oh, and that gives you great credentials, and you know all the aspects of what's going on. And as a first vice president, I would imagine you'd be able to go in there and they couldn't give you any garbage because you've seen it all. And you'd be able to go in there and, do what you have to do. You've been you're a 241 member. Of course, if you weren't, you wouldn't be able to run. But you did a great thing there. And when you put your name in the hat, and you put it in because why are you running for office?
Because over the years, listening to the operators talk about how the union has went down from when we started until now, and it's just like, I feel as though I can make that change.
Make that change,
Yes.
and that's what people have to do. See, people got to step up like you, and if you feel you can do it, step in there and do it. You come from a background of labor. You've been doing probably as a kid. You know quite a bit about labor. You know. Well, you guys got trustee twice, and trustee. One of the reasons you're a trustee, I know, is because the finances were not what they should be.
That's correct.
And that was the main reason, because I had a letter there. I don't have it in my hand, but I had a letter from the International that said that the guys that's in there, and I say this, and if you guys want to sue me, you can. But the International said, Javier Perez and Marcellus Bond said that they couldn't even use common sense That's what he said about these guys that's running, that's got to pay money back. They couldn't even use common sense, you know, and that's what it takes to be a union rep. Common sense. That's not your money. That money belongs to the membership. And no matter how you divert it, try to divert people's attentions away from what you did that. You did that. And you should not be rewarded for sticking your hand in the cookie jar and hoping that they put you in there so you can get the whole cookie store. I'm sorry. When I saw that guy lie the other day like that, I couldn't believe it. And, you know, and if you want to sue me, sue me. You know why I'm saying this? Because I know what I'm saying is true. I dare you to try to sue me. So I'm jumping off again. When I see people lie like that, Val, I'm sorry. But Val, you know, so what would you do to make a difference as far as representing your members? Would you go and see what their concerns are and try to get?
Yes, I have already been listening to the membership concerns, and one of their concerns were the insurance. Mm-hmm. We have members that saying that they're afraid to go to the doctor because they can't afford it. They'd rather be sick than pay that medical bill.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Well, you all went from Blue Cross to Aetna? Is it
Cigna.
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 They took Blue Cross from you, and these guys that's in there say they couldn't do anything about it, which they probably couldn't, you know. But they but they let Pace keep theirs.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Metro still got theirs.
Yes.
All right. And I ain't got to tell y'all why they still got theirs and y'all don't have y'all. You figure it out, you know. But even if they go to another insurance, it's got to be the same or better than what you had before, right?
Correct.
Right. But those are some of the things that I think that you guys will be talking about going in. Now, I heard you guys talking the other day about sitting down and just dealing with what the people are concerned about. Yes. Not all this party stuff that some of these other people alleged to be having, because I wasn't at the parties. I don't want to say that. They can't sue me then if I say that. But, you know, some of the other things that they're doing. But the things that you're concerned about is, what are your members, you know, what are your members saying? What are your members saying? Mm-hmm. I also got with us Mr. Anthony Jones. Well, he's been around a while, and he was talking to me about some of the things that's going on and some of the things that he saw. He told me about some of this. This is why I said, no, you can't be telling me the truth. He invited me. Well, come out and listen for yourself. Right. So I went and listened.
You're absolutely right, Jerry. Jerry, you know, we went out to Chicago Avenue, and you weren't the moderator.
No, I had nothing to do with no moderator.
Right. No. But we had a guy out there. He was waving a picture around with me and Bogorovich. Now, Bogorovich is in jail. I'm not. So I told him, I said, I took a lot of pictures with a lot of different politicians.
I took a picture with Bogorovich. But the president too.
What we tried to do was to get him to answer questions.
Yes.
He would never, ever answer the question. One of the questions that was put to him was, name us one thing that you have done for this membership in the last 9 years. And we're still waiting today. We had the same conversation yesterday. Mm-hmm. Name me one thing that you have done. Now, there was some stuff put out there, Jerry, and I have to say it. They said that when Tommy got up there and spoke, they let Tommy speak. When Valerie got up there and spoke, they let her speak. And Toy got up there, and Toy was out there. Somebody had put some stuff out there. But anyway, but the bottom line is, they said they wouldn't let Keith speak. But Jerry, you know as well as I do, it was not I doing. The retirees know the difference. You cannot bull the retirees because they're going to ask direct questions. And if you try to lie to them, I'm going to tell you
that's
something.
What happened.
Hey, look here, the worst thing you can do for a retiree is lie to them.
Right, Val, you were there. You were there. Here, and what happened was just what Anthony said. Everybody that came out there, they allowed them to speak.
Yes. Yes.
Now, Tom Sam said earlier, this guy claimed that Tom Sam's threatened his family. That's that sympathy he's looking for people to divert. There's somebody threatening my family. Then he comes out and said, they wouldn't let me talk. That's a lie. They let you talk. They let everybody talk. It's just that when you start lying, they told you you were lying. They told them that.
What he was saying
this is all,
didn't make sense.
And this was all 241 retirees, not anybody else.
Right.
They told you were lying. So, Val, if you're blessed and you're honored enough to get in there as president, vice president, first vice president for AT Local 241, would you be honest and just be straight up transparent with people and talk to them and let them know what's going on?
Yes, I will, Jerry. Yes, I will.
That's the question, that is the main thing. And if there's some things that you don't know, you go and ask people that do know. Get back to them,
Correct.
It's all about your membership. It's not about a game, who the game, my boys are better than your boys. This is what this big guy was saying out there. The big old guy. He was like, oh, my game, we gonna beat your game. Man, this ain't no, first of all, I cut your knees off. But this ain't no game. This is not a game. This is reality. Your members are suffering.
Yes.
Your members are suffering and you're playing games. But anyway, so let's get back to you. I'm sorry, Anthony, did you have something?
Yeah. One of the things that we ask direct questions. And this was a question I asked, that you've been there for 9 years. 900 people have lost their job. Their family lost homes, meals, they've owned right to education. And you want us to elect you again. Now, members, I say to the members is this, that yesteryear, there was 900 of your fellow members lost their job.
Mm-hmm.
And they did nothing about it. If you elect these people again, another 900 gonna lose their job. And guess what? You might be in that 900 because they've already showed you what they do, how they care about you. How you gonna make me a promise, say I'm gonna care about you, but I didn't care about your brothers and sisters that lost their job? Unions care about everybody.
You're right. And one of the things we want to do, Val, I really appreciate you coming on and talking with us. Anthony, just a caveat onto what you were saying, that's true. I told people years ago, you got to be careful. They're going to come and take these jobs. They took the customer assistant job. And this guy, and the guy that was president at that time was blaming everybody but himself. And I worked with 308 people, and this guy, we got him out of office. He's gone. You got a guy in there now that's really fresh, and I think he's going to be a pretty good, hopefully, because he says he want to work with people that know and the young people and everybody. This guy here, I know the top guy that's running, Hill. Here's what you said, Hill. You said that the pension is bad because Isaiah Thomas, who is deceased and been dead for 12 years, Wanda Black, who was out there trying to campaign for you, Jerry Williams, you're saying that that's why the pension, no, son. The pension is in the shape it's in because the company did not make their contributions. It's all in the papers. It's even in the judge's ruling. The companies didn't make their contributions. Don't start beating yourself and beating your members and saying that they're the reason why. That's not it. Now, you got February 10th, Tuesday. Come out and vote. Grab somebody by the hand and bring them with you. Come out and vote. Why do I want to see this union get back on its feet? Because I love unions. And I don't like people like Roundup coming in trying to, and you know who he's coming after. Let's don't kid ourselves. Don't kid ourselves. But come out and vote. Put the best qualified people in. Tuesday, February 10th. Am I right? Is that,
yes,
that's it?
That's correct.
And you guys will be out there. And I think you all are like 2, 4, 6, and 8.
Yes.
Muhammad, right quickly, is Tano
Muhammad.
He's running for second vice president.
Yes.
And I understand that this is a great young man. So go out there, cast your vote for 2, 4, 6, and 8. That's very easy. 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, thank you all for coming on, Val. I really appreciate you coming on. Anthony, appreciate it. And thank the audience out there. You guys have been great. This is Talk Labor. We're going to see you again next week, and we'll see you then.
Okay.
All right.